Hello, I'm Eady. I believe that ISO 3834 is a standard that offers significant benefits not only to the customers but also to the manufacturers that comply with it. Yet one of the most commonly asked questions is, what is ISO 3834? Hopefully over the next few minutes we'll be able to discuss that and start to show how compliance with ISO 3834 can yield benefits. Within that seemingly simple question, I think there are a number of more complex and complicated questions nested, such as, is ISO 3834 certification mandatory? How do I comply with ISO 3834? I already have ISO 9001, so why is my customer also asking for ISO 3834? Basically, ISO 3834 is a standard in 6 parts. In the UK, it's published by BSI, so it's BS, British Standard, EN, European Standard, ISO, International Standard, 3834, Part 1, Part 2, Part 3, Part 4, Part 5, and a technical report, Part 6. Part 1 sets requirements for the selection of the quality level, and the quality levels are defined in Parts 2, 3, and 4. Part 5 is a list of normative standards to which it's necessary to conform, and Part 6 provides guidance on implementation and conformity. All of the parts are important, and you will need to read them if you intend to comply with the requirements. The title of ISO 3834 is very descriptive of its purpose and its scope: quality requirements for fusion welding of metallic materials. It has a graded approach to quality control of welding, setting 3 levels: ISO 3834 Part 4, Elementary Quality Requirements, ISO 3834 Part 3, Standard Quality Requirements, and ISO 3834 Part 2, Comprehensive Quality Requirements. It's necessary to select the appropriate level of quality requirements that are required by the product, the application, and the customer. ISO 3834 is not a mandatory standard. Voluntary compliance has significant benefits, but it's always the manufacturer's choice as to whether to comply with ISO 3834 requirements or not. However, ISO 3834 is being increasingly specified by customers and is referenced in a number of other standards. Your ability to tender for a contract may depend on your ability to demonstrate compliance with ISO 3834 requirements. As an example, the Construction Products Regulation, which is law in the UK and EU member states, refers to ISO 3834 welding quality requirements through its harmonized supporting standard EN 1090 Part 1 and the execution Parts 2 and 3 for welded structural steel and aluminium construction products. This referencing forms a linkage between ISO 3834 quality requirements and legal requirements. ISO 3834 does not specify certification. Certification is a means to demonstrate conformity, but it's not specified as a requirement. Your customers may prefer you to have independent third-party certification, but it is a choice. ISO 3834 is not a quality management system standard. The most commonly applied quality management system standard is ISO 9001, and ISO 3834 and ISO 9001 interface well together and work well together in partnership. However, that isn't necessary, and ISO 3834 operates effectively as a standalone quality standard for welding. ISO 3834 Parts 2, 3, and 4 define the quality requirements for welding as a special process. ISO 3834 Part 5 refers to the documents with which it is necessary for you to conform, to claim conformity with the quality requirements of Parts 2, 3, or 4. Many of the standards listed in Part 5 will be familiar to you as the welding standards you already use. Compliance with ISO 3834 Part 2, Part 3, or Part 4 requires validation. And here we can show linkage to ISO 9001 with the quote, "The validation and periodic revalidation of the ability to achieve planned results of the processes for production and service provision, where the resulting output cannot be verified by subsequent monitoring or measurement. That quote is the ISO 9001-2015 way of defining the requirements for a special process. So the special process of welding requires validation in accordance with the requirements of ISO 3834 Part 2, 3 or 4 of your workshop, equipment, personnel, procedures, documentation, production control, inspection and test for the welding processes, materials, consumables and product applications within your scope of production, and against the requirements of relevant standards listed in ISO 3834 Part 5. Welding is a special process. A special process requires validation to demonstrate that it will provide the expected outcomes. Execution of a validated special process requires personnel competence. That's the combination of knowledge, skills, and behaviors that enable an individual to control the essential variables of the special process. The competence requirements of ISO 3834 are, as far as I'm concerned, its greatest benefit. They benefit the customers, employers, employees, profitability, productivity, quality, and I could go on. Hopefully, when you join me again for another coffee break or kitchen chat, we will go on and discuss more about the benefits of ISO 3834. I hope you've enjoyed this and look forward to seeing you soon. Bye.